13. Their capital is the most densely populated city in the world. The nation's capital, Manila, and its 16 surrounding cities that make up the Metro Manila area have a population of 12.8 million people.
Stay tuned. Hello, my friends. This is Bobby D coming to you from Talamban, Cebu, Philippines. Having an awesome time in the Philippines today. Hope you are as well where you're from. Hey, for those of you that are here for the first time, I want to suggest you click on the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you can continue receiving fresh, new Philippine videos, motivational videos, and worldwide videos. Today, I'm going to take a look at reaction on a video that came out recently that has 14 things that are different for the Filipino people than from the rest of the world. So let's jump off into it right now.
What if I told you there is a country where over 175 languages are spoken, people text more than anywhere else in the world, and boxing fights directly influence crime rates?
Well, so far so good. It sounds just like the Philippines that I know and that I love. Most Filipinos text a lot, and boxing is very, very important to the Philippine people. In particular, one of our favorite boxers is the Senator Manny Pacquiao.
It sounds pretty much unbelievable, but it's all true in the Philippines. 14. There are more than 175 spoken languages. There are 2 official languages in the Philippines: Filipino, based on Tagalog, and English.
Alright, hold up. Pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. I think they forgot about Taglish, which is the combination of Tagalog and English. And a lot of Filipinos use that instead of the strict Filipino or English language. But again, it's not official.
Filipino is the most commonly spoken and pop culture language, and the government of the country uses English in their work. By the way, the Philippines are number 5 on the list of the world's top English-speaking populations after US, India, Pakistan, and the UK. All this sounds pretty...
Okay, keeping them honest here, there are some sources that list the Philippines as number 4, Nigeria number 5, and United Kingdom number 6. So it just depends on what source you're looking at to find your ranking as far as which people speak English the most in which countries.
All this sounds pretty plain and ordinary, but in fact, the diverse linguistic groups living in the country use over 175 languages for their internal communication. Since many of them exist only in spoken form, it's impossible to calculate the exact amount.
Different references say there are about 172, about 125 different languages / dialects. But this chart shows you the languages / dialects that's spoken in the households of the Filipinos. And as you can see, Tagalog's number 1, Cebuano's number 2.
"13. Their capital is the most densely populated city in the world. The nation's capital, Manila, and its 16 surrounding cities that make up the Metro Manila area have a population of 12.8 million people. During the daytime..."
Okay, there's no question that the most densely populated city in the world is Manila. And then it follows by Mumbai, Dhaka, Caloocan, and Chennai. But the most densely populated country in the world is Monaco. The Philippines actually come in at 36 as the most densely populated country in the world.
During the daytime, this number gets way higher since many people come here to work. And while the number doesn't sound that crazy, take note that all these people live and work in an area of 16.56 square miles. This makes the population density equal to 1...
Now that is just too close for comfort.
Equal to 111,002 people per square mile. And that's 5 times higher than in Mumbai or Paris, for example. 12. They have churches in shopping malls. Shopping malls are...
Now on this one, I don't think this is unique to the Philippines because they have churches and shopping malls, United States, different countries. So on this one, I think they dropped the ball on this one. What do you guys think?
Shopping malls aren't merely a place where you buy stuff for Filipinos. They are safe, air-conditioned community hubs with gyms, health clinics, concert halls, nightclubs, parks, and even churches inside. So it's no surprise that they are the favorite place to meet up with friends for so many locals. And 3 of the world's 10 largest shopping malls are...
Okay, meeting up and hanging out at the mall is huge in the Philippines. And a lot of reasons for it, but one of the reasons is that a lot of Filipinos don't have aircon or air conditioning. And so, to beat the heat, they hang out at the malls.
Largest shopping malls are located in the Philippines. They are Mega Fashion Mall of SM Mega Mall, SM City North EDSA, and SM Mall of Asia. 11. Filipinos are the #1 texting nation in the world. You already know Filipinos.
The Philippines is a texting nation. They will text before they talk. And I've traveled all over the world, and this country just loves texting.
You already know Filipinos love meeting up with friends at shopping malls, and when they can't see each other in person, they text. And when they do it, they rarely limit it to, "Hey, how are you?" In fact, they send about 400 million texts a day, and that's around 142 billion texts a year. It's more than the US and Europe put together. Not exactly a little number for a country of 107 million people. 10. They have a unique form of transportation. If you visit...
Now, while the jeepney is unique to the Philippines, it has evolved, and it's still evolving. It's becoming more like a minivan or a small bus.
If you visit Manila, you'll notice some interesting looking vehicles called jeepneys. They are converted US Army Jeeps that stayed in the country after World War II. Filipinos adapted them to transport up to 18 passengers who jump on the jeepney going in their direction and ring the bell for it to stop. There are about 50,000 jeepneys in Manila, and they all look different, with basketball stars, cartoon characters, inspirational quotes, neon lights, and whatnot on them. There are 2 major problems with jeepneys: safety concerns and pollution. They produce huge amounts of black smoke. So hurry up if you want to ride before they get replaced with a rapid transit system. 9. One of the islands has more volcanoes.
Camiguin Island is beautiful. It has those white sandy beaches, and many people just come there just to view the volcanoes because it's so gorgeous.
More volcanoes than towns. The Philippines are, without a doubt, a super scenic location. Among all the islands that are a part of it, Camiguin sure stands out, with more volcanoes per square mile than any other island on the planet. The island is 14 miles long and 8.5 miles wide, and has 7 volcanoes and 5 towns. And even though earthquakes and eruptions shaped it, volcanoes have been deep asleep since the 50s, so thousands of tourists can safely visit the island these days. 8. Their national flag has a secret meaning.
Okay, here you can see the Filipino flag was virtually introduced back in 1898, and you can see the various evolutions of it. But the basic flag meaning is you got the 3 stars, which represent the 3 main island regions. The sun represents independence, and the 8 rays represent the 8 regions that rebelled against Spanish rule. And the blue represents patriotism and justice. The red represents valor and blood, freedom and independence, and the white represents purity.
A secret meaning. The national flag of the Philippines has 2 bands of blue and scarlet, and a white triangle at the hoist with a yellow sun and 8 rays, each of them standing for one province of the country. The yellow stars stand for the 3 largest island groups: Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. What makes the flag really unique is that it can be reversed to declare a state of war. This happened during the Filipino Revolutionary War of 1898 to 1901 and during World War II in 1941 to 1945. 7. Boxing directly affects crime rates in the country.
There's no question about it. When the Pac-Man fights, crime stops, and pretty much most things in the Philippines come to a standstill.
Filipinos love boxing and are crazy about their most famous boxer, Manny Pacquiao. Whenever he fights, the whole country is glued to its TV sets. And according to the Philippine National Police, PNP, crime rates in the country drop significantly when he's in the ring. During his 12-round fight against American boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr. that went from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., not a single crime was committed in the whole Manila metropolitan area. It was basically the same during other major fights with the participation of the People's Champ, Manny Pacquiao. 6. A lot of Filipinos work abroad.
So here you can see the majority of overseas Filipino workers are employed in Western Asia. And on the next graph, you can see that the majority of overseas Filipino workers are employed in elementary occupation.
A lot of Filipinos work abroad. It might be because of their flexible and reliable character, or the fact that they speak great English as a second language. But more than 11 million Filipinos work abroad. It's around 11% of the population, and a quarter of all overseas nurses in the world come from the Philippines. 5. Their rice terraces are the 8th wonder of the world.
The rice terraces of Banawe, Philippines are amazing, and although they're not used to harvest rice a lot, the tourists come from all over the world to witness the beauty and the marvel how these terraces were made.
The world. Banawe rice terraces are the oldest in the world and were so smartly designed that they still bring a harvest of rice and vegetables, most of which get exported. And it is believed if all the terraces had been built end to end, they would stretch halfway around the world. Today, these places bring the country more money as a tourist destination than rice plantations, and thus they play an important role for the economy of the Philippines. 4. They produce a lot of coconuts.
The Philippines are the world's second largest producer of coconuts. The first is Indonesia, the third is India, fourth Brazil, fifth Sri Lanka.
Coconuts. For years, the Philippines had been the #1 producer of coconuts in the world. And even though the leadership now belongs to Indonesia, 153,532,000 tons per year is still an impressive number, isn't it? These coconuts are used to make anything from clothing to beauty products. 3. The first European to visit the Philippines was Ferdinand Magellan.
Ferdinand Magellan was a Portuguese explorer. He's commonly given credit for discovering the Philippines in 1521. Now, the person that named the Philippines was Ruy Lopez de Villalobos, 1542 expedition.
And Magellan. The legendary explorer made the first record of the archipelago among the Europeans in 1521. He founded the first settlement in Cebu, and thus most of the area became a Spanish colony. This explains the fact that around 90% of the population are Christian, unlike most of the country's neighbors. In 1898, the Philippines went under U.S. rule and later, in 1946, became an independent republic. 2. A Filipino made the first karaoke machine.
Actually, a Japanese by the name of Daisuke Inoue developed the first karaoke machine. Robert de los Rosario was a Filipino. He made a new system called the karaoke sing-along system in 1975, and he patented it.
If you love to sing along, you ought to thank Filipinos for your favorite pastime. The first karaoke machine in the world was created in 1975 by Roberto del Rosario. He patented as the sing-along system, and even though there were some attempts to claim his creation, he still remains the only patent holder for the karaoke system. 1. The population is extremely good-looking.
Bini Bining Catriona Gray is the new Miss Universe 2018, representing the Philippines. Yeah!
Good-looking. Along with their love for boxing, texting, and shopping, Filipinos are crazy about beauty pageants. It might be the years of American rule that gave them this love for competitive beauty, but the fact remains a fact. They have won in all major international pageants 15 times. There were 4 girls crowned Miss Universe, 1 Miss World, 6 title holders of Miss International, and 4 Miss Earth crowns. The first official pageant was held within the country in 1908, and since 2000...
Question for the day. What's your favorite reason the Philippines is different from the rest of the world? Leave your comments for me in the comment section of this video. And as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe. This is Bobby D saying take care, God bless, and peace! A towering